is good, everybody, my Paper Moon fam? It's your boy, PaperSin, aka the Hokage of the village. And that loud, you feel me? So today we're gonna talk more about the Hawaiian, the Maui wildfires. We got a reaction here for I think it's by CELEB Live, and yes, by CELEB Live. It's about Joe Rogan calling out Oprah this time. I didn't know that he did that, so we're gonna check that out. But before we get to that, we have like this article that came out yesterday. Let me show you. This article titled "Cause of a Maui Wildfire Still Unknown." Hawaii Utilities Chief tells congressional leaders. Holy shit, that was bad. So this article is by Mina. I hope I said that right. Arshad on the USAtoday.com. So we're gonna watch this, and I'm gonna go over this first part. There's a lot to this article, not a lot, but there's a few sections. We're not gonna go over the rest, but the link to this article will be in the description below. So be sure to check it out if you want to see the rest. But let's go over the video and then check the sections out, and then watch the Joe Rogan slams Oprah thing. Ready? Ready.
Freaking power line just went down. Try my little water hose.
A lawsuit alleges Hawaiian Electric was a substantial factor in the Maui wildfires.
See them right there. That's the power line that started from up the road there.
The suit claims fallen power lines started the fires. This footage from a Maui resident could be key evidence in the case.
I send my family away already. Thank you.
This dude chilling with his little water hose, like.
And then on the other hand, it's like maybe it'll bring closure.
Change for
some of the family to answer some of the questions, help determine what was the start.
Okay, that was it. So about the power lines being the cause. Now, I know everybody is able to do one certain thing. They're able to see a domino and at least the immediate effect that will happen if that domino falls. So, that being said, is it possible? I don't know. I'm asking you, I'm putting a question out there. Is it possible that someone's like, if that happens, it could start a fire? If there's a possibility they could start a fire. And obviously they said it was, the lawsuit claims that the Hawaiian Electric was the start of it. Or a substantial cause of it. Is this like someone else trying to put the blame on that company? And say that, hey, one of their power lines went out and that's the start of the fire, or got cut off or broke or whatever, and that's the start of the fire right there. Could it be used to hide actions of certain people? I don't know. I'm just saying it is interesting thought, but I don't know, bro. Honestly, I really don't know. I don't think so, but at the same time, it's people amaze me often. You know what I'm saying? With what they're capable of. So this article says, or at least this first section of the article says, Washington. The deadly wildfire that killed 97 people in Maui started from an unknown cause in the afternoon and was unrelated to a blaze earlier in the day sparked by downed power lines. The president of Hawaii's primary utility told congressional leaders Thursday. Okay, see right there. He said the power line started an unrelated incident. You know what I'm saying? It's completely not related to the actual blaze in the Maui fire that killed 97 people. Rest in peace. And hearts go out to those affected by the fire. But the article continues. Lawmakers didn't get a good look at, but lawmakers didn't get a lot of other concrete answers to their questions about the fire as national leaders look for causes and possible repercussions. Hawaiian Electric CEO Sheila Kimura said it may take months for investigations to wrap up. And if obviously money can be passed around through that time, or actual investigations could be taking place, and the truth of everything could come to light, and it could be just the power lines that, you know, the Hawaiian Electric said, hey, that was completely unrelated. Could have been that's actually related, because we don't know if he was telling the truth, or it could have been something else that was an accident that started the whole thing, or it could have been, you know, a dirty deed. You feel me? So the article continues. We all want to learn what happened on August 8th, so that it never happens again. Kimura told the U.S. House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations. Hawaiian Electric serves 95% of the state's 1.4 million residents. The August 8th wildfires leveled a historic town, destroyed at least 2,200 buildings, and reduced ancestral landmarks to ashes. Kimura insisted Thursday that the company followed its protocol on the day of the blaze. Downed power lines caused an early morning fire, but the devastating blaze that overtook parts of the island came from a second fire ignited hours after the first fire was put out, Kimura said. Never be the same. Maui fire victims seek answers, accountability at Washington's hearing. I guess that's another article you can check out or something. But that's the first section of this entire article. There's 4 more. I could go over them. I feel like you're telling me to go over them. All right, we'll go over them real quick. The two fires explained. Kimura said a fire that started around 6:30 a.m. that morning was caused by downed power lines. She said the initial blaze, which she called the morning fire, was fully contained by 9 a.m. and later extinguished by the Maui County Fire Department. But a second fire later that day around 3 p.m. began in the same area. The power lines had been de-energized for 6 hours by the time that afternoon fire started, Kimura testified. The cause for the second fire is unknown, she said. Kimura said the company is conducting its own investigation into the fire. U.S. Rep. Frank Pallone asked Kimura whether the report will be made public once it concludes, and Kimura said that the company would be sharing what's critical. So, the fire started 6:30 a.m., contained by 9 a.m., and the power lines were de-energized, which means a second fire could not have been started by those same power lines. And there were no other power lines that were reported still being energized in the area that caused the fire. Because remember, the second fire started in that same area later on that day. So maybe somebody went back and figured, okay, our plan didn't work. Our plan to, fuck up these power lines and have them naturally, quote unquote, naturally start the fire didn't work. What if, let's just send somebody back, hurry up, do it now, start the fire manually, and let that shit blaze. That is a possibility. Not saying that's what happened, but like I said before, the things people are capable of, continue to amaze me. The evil deeds, what I'm saying? The deeds people are capable of are, amazing. So the article continues. Utility officials questioned about prevention. Hawaii State Energy Office Chief Energy Officer Mark Glick said managing vegetation is a critical part of wildfire safety. A long-time Maui resident who grew up next to the sugarcane fields where her father worked, Elsa Eberle, I hope I said that right, probably didn't, told USA Today the land had been maintained with prescribed burns and kept healthy. However, when the site closed down, weed plants took over and served as dry fuel for the fatal blaze. Democratic members of the subcommittee made multiple references to the looming government shutdown, which could ensure in 2 days if lawmakers can't reach a deal before 12:01 a.m. on Sunday. All federal agencies deemed non-essential will be forced to halt operations in the event of a shutdown, including disaster relief by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Right now, I'm praying. Meet the workers who risk everything, who risk never seeing lost wages from a government shutdown. I guess that's another article. I don't really, this is my first time really on USA Today, so I didn't know they had these links to articles in the middle of the other article like that. I'll try to stop reading those. Anyway, the article continues. Democratic representatives remarked about whether it was the appropriate time for a hearing considering the potential shutdown, which would affect the federal government's ability to aid in recovery efforts. Hawaiian Electric facing slew of lawsuits. Maui County is among many taking legal action against the utility after the fire. You gotta have someone to blame, and if Oprah or someone Oprah's connected to really was behind it, they're not gonna be to blame. You know, they got the money to shift blame. On August 24th, the country filed a lawsuit against Hawaiian Electric and its subsidiaries, claiming that the company acted negligently by not powering down electrical equipment sooner, despite a red flag warning on August 7th from the National Weather Service. The county also, have I been saying country this whole time? Oh crap, my bad. Yeah, it's been county. Sorry about that. The county also claimed the company's energized and downed power lines ignited grass and brush, and it failed to maintain the system and power grid, leading to systematic failures that caused fires last month. Okay, I see all that. Okay, victims and survivors of the fire have also filed lawsuits against the utility. I get it, I see that. But how come no one's talking about the second the second fire that started after those power lines were de-energized? You know, so that no other fires can be started. They're still talking about past fires that that company started because of, you know, energized power lines. But no one's saying anything about the second fire that started that same day after the power lines were already de-energized. I don't know, man. It's weird. But I guess there was still maybe some juice in them. I don't know. A good start. Maui wildfire victims react to hearing. Survivors and family members of people who died in the fire disaster attended the hearing Thursday and submitted written testimony as they were not invited to testify in person. Kathleen Henricks, whose sister died in the fire disaster last month, told I guess by the time this it's still technically last month, told USA Today after the hearing she was disappointed in some of Kimura's responses. However, she said the hearing was a good start. I think we're headed in the right direction, Henricks said, noting she was pleased to hear some good questions and to feel heard by Congress. However, this was only a first step, Henricks said, noting a long way left to go to ensure history doesn't repeat itself. So that's the end of the article. What do you guys think? Because like I said before, nobody, after they mentioned that the second fire being started, and even though the lines were de-energized, no one really said anything about that. There was more information on, you know, past events that happened that had nothing to do with the blaze that happened last month in August. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, obviously Kimura could also be lying and saying that the second fire was caused by something else, because The power lines were already de-energized. However, I find it hard to believe that after the first fire started and got contained and dealt with, that they would keep those lines activated and energized, you know? So what started the second fire? You know? That's my question. That's my question. I don't know what happened, but it seems like Hawaiian Electric, if what everybody said was true, if what Kimura said was true, then Hawaiian Electric is not to blame for the entire blaze. You know what I'm saying? They're not even a substantial reason that the fire started, because they had that small fire that harmed no one and was contained in time. And then the power lines de-energized. And then the second fire that nobody knows what started is part of the huge blaze. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Was the second is Hawaiian Electric just like, you know, a scapegoat for something else? Or maybe Hawaiian Electric is lying and they actually were a substantial cause in the fire. Let's see. I still got time. So we have the article, the YouTube video here by CELEB Live that says Joe Rogan slams Oprah for her scam fraud again amidst Maui fires. Now I know her whole charity, quote unquote charity thing that she started has nothing to do with what we just went over. But I still wanted to come back and touch base on this because I have a video out about it already, about, you know, The Rock and Oprah's whole thing about asking, you know, the citizens or the people for donations to their charity fund when they could just ask, you know, their rich millionaire friends for $5 million, you know, each or something to help rebuild and reorganize and get the people back in their homes, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But so I just want to come back and touch on that. I didn't see this whole thing about Joe Rogan apparently slamming Oprah for it, but let's check it out and find out what's good, what's great, see what's going on. No hate.
Total vacuum of information. Aftermath of the wildfire on Maui is this total vacuum of information from government officials to the people.
They oversent $6 billion. And then I said, well, how much would it cost to rebuild every house in the Maui fire? And it's $5 billion.
In that vacuum, obviously people have all kinds of ideas or theories or this or that, but people were left without any kind of communication from anyone in a position of authority to provide help.
What is this fund? The People's Fund of Maui?
Right?
Who controls it? Who owns it?
Good question. Good
Episode
question.
of Joe Rogan Experience. Our candid podcast host, Joe Rogan, suggested that media mogul Oprah Winfrey might be knee-deep in some seriously shady land deals related to Maui, and while thousands of people are still suffering from the consequences of this devastating disaster, Oprah is making money on people's sorrows. Joe Rogan, playing detective, stirring the pot, and accusing the industry giants of exploiting the Maui tragedy? Well, that's the turn we've never expected. Let's dive into the details right away. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. It's not a secret that Joe Rogan has been trying to warn us for ages about how these Hollywood elites would stop at nothing to keep filling their already overflowing well of riches. And
Well, I mean, that part is kind of true, you know what I'm saying? But people always look at it and be like, man, Joe Rogan at it again.
here we are again with a fresh portion of new accusations from Joe. This time, he's suspecting Oprah of being the puppet master behind the Maui terrible incident and making huge profits on this tragedy.
How
A lot
is
of people said that.
possible? That these people could lose their home and then lose their land.
Oh, it seems like Oprah Winfrey, the queen of real estate investments in Hawaii, has been snatching up Maui land like it's the latest best-selling novel. She started with a whopping 520-acre piece, added another 330 acres, and basically couldn't stop trying to turn the entire island into her possession. Now, the island disaster didn't change Oprah's capitalistic intentions, and it's been said that these land acquisitions might be her ticket to a front-row seat in the disaster capitalism game. I mean, it's common knowledge locals are desperate to get any help, and some of them will be selling their land on cheap. And as Joe Rogan now says, Oprah used the Maui fires to her advantage to expand her real estate portfolio even further.
That's an insane position to take.
It is.
Post-tragedy. When
And
people are suffering at their most, they can't even believe it happened.
Yeah.
Let me provide
Real quick, like, I know some people were saying that she was behind the fires, and like, She had firefighters already, at her land like the day before the fires actually started, because she was like, she already knew the fires was gonna happen. But let's pretend. I don't know if all that part was true. But let's pretend she really did just have them land in Hawaii. Maybe the show was like just a coincidence. She saw that the fires have started and thought maybe it was an opportunity to do something else. To like start as an excuse, like her asking the people for money and trying to start a charity drive as a billionaire, asking the people for money, saying, "Oh, I pledged," which a pledge can be canceled. We pledged 10 million. 10 million. That's only to them. 10 million is like 10 cents. You feel me? So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Some more context for this epic saga, because in 2023, a bit before the fires, Oprah started to acquire huge pieces of land on the island. The timing was impeccable, and who would have guessed? But you know what seems the most suspicious here, guys? Well, the information about Oprah's real estate possession on the island is being deleted from the internet. It only adds to speculations that our beloved Oprah might have pulled off the ultimate plot twist by deliberately igniting the fires to acquire prime Maui real estate and expand her presence in the island. These claims are not empty, and they are coming from observations that while Oprah was getting ready with a team of firemen to save her mansions, Maui's working class people were not even notified about the approaching disaster.
And survivors are calling out a lack of warning.
No alarms, no warning, nothing.
That is very suspect. Also, real quick, what if she did have something to do with the fires, And now that the price of the land, because she was buying a bunch of land before, right? Now that the price of the land is probably going down, what if she starts to buy more, or because you already see companies and other freaking like people coming in, billionaires and other millionaires coming in trying to buy up land from the people who lost their homes and shit. So because remember I do have that other video that talks about how Hawaii, or at least Maui, might become the new Hollywood because people have been trying to buy up the land there since the fires have gone through. So what if, I wonder if she's also trying to buy more land under different pseudonyms, under different like fake names and shit, in order to own a large portion of that new Hollywood that could be built there. Damn, that's messed up.
Not even police rolling by telling us to evacuate or anything.
So, Joe Rogan, our newfound gossip guru, is now fueling these speculations with his own observations and discoveries. He practically said that Oprah Winfrey might be in some shady land dealings. Given the gravity of these allegations, there's now a campaign on social media demanding a full investigation of Oprah's shady activities in Maui. Plus, there are a lot of questions about her controversial fund, which she had launched earlier with The Rock, the media mogul, coming on social media and asking working class to give their money to her so she could pass it to the Maui victims. Well, what
give me your money so I can give it to them.
Only Oprah's own generous donation of $10 million, which looks like a joke amidst the fact that it's more than $5 to the media mogul.
I'm looking at Oprah like, you're a billionaire.
Right?
Why are you asking us for money?
Right?
And the most shocking twist of all happened when people started to dig into this fund and learning more about its origins and work. So here what they have discovered. The Entertainment Industry Foundation, a non-profit organization, is managing this Maui fund. Now, let's take a closer look at this organization managing the funds. Its top executives, including the president, CAO.
Entertainment Industry Foundation salary for Chief Executive Officer. $1,030,000. $1,030,759,000 a year.
And CFO are enjoying rather hefty yearly salaries. And just check the board of this company. It's like this organization needs the whole crowd. And as it was even speculated,
she looked higher than me in that one.
Board members as well. It's just,
she's
not mentioned anywhere, not to arise any suspicions. However,
nobody's ever higher than me.
Everyone already sees right through her and her shady schemes.
Not even you.
Clean, direct from you directly to their hands, and right away with some real immediacy.
With so much detail surfacing, the concerns about Oprah's true intentions are growing. And it seems like in this time of need, the media mogul cares about putting money into the hands of people, but not the Maui people, but her own millionaire friends. As one person commented, I don't trust any of them. If they did donate, it was only for clout. Bet she's selling that property.
They didn't donate, they pledged
for insane amounts. if not keeping it for herself and shoving out the locals. And another user added, People, a charity which does not show a proper, transparent financial report, is a scam. Yet, Oprah didn't like people's reaction to her allegedly philanthropic aspirations. In her usual manner, she slammed all the critics, claiming that by attacking her, they are taking the focus from the main purpose of her fund. So all of the online attacks, lies, conspiracy theories really took the focus off of what was the most important thing,
Good way
which is
to
the people
deflect.
of Maui. However, it didn't save from backlash. And while it may not be obvious to ordinary people, experts in lies like Joe Rogan ask a lot of questions about Oprah's fundraiser and its work.
That's just like accidental money. But there's no talk of doing that. There's no talk of doing that.
As Joe is now saying, those $10 million that Oprah allegedly given to the people may have served more as initial capital for the fundraiser to start working and pay the people who created the whole thing from the scratch rather than direct aid to the fire victims. In his recent podcast, he also mentioned the sad practice of seeing the local population of Maui facing a systematic displacement from their ancestral lands, and he blames the Hollywood elites for that. As his guest on the show, former U.S. Representative Tulsi Gabbard said, "What I heard over and over again was no one from the county, state, or the federal government has shown their face in our community. It is neighbors helping neighbors, families helping families." Well, the residents of Maui seems not to be getting any help from Oprah as well. And in fact, the true state of affairs on the island is so different from what the media mogul is trying to portray.
Oprah Winfrey coming down from the mountaintop like she's a goddess. I don't know, she's buying up land all over Maui.
Unlike Oprah, who comes to Hawaii to enjoy her lavish life, Tulsi has been coming there regularly after the tragedy, and she collected the real stories coming from real people. She shared her perspective, emphasizing that she has spoken with families who have lived in Maui for generations. Their connection to the land goes beyond the legal. It's deeply spiritual. But I guess it means nothing for the media mogul who solves all her problems with money, or should I rather say, taking money from the people.
Get other people to give money, and then we'll put it directly into the people's bank accounts.
I don't know. The people's bank accounts, which, like I said earlier, which people? Your rich friends? Your rich friends that are getting the money from the donations are probably using that same money to go back and try to buy the land from the Hawaiians, from those that were displaced, from those that were affected by the fire, in order to build their new Hollywood or whatever they're trying to do, bruh. I don't know, man.
I was so excited.
If Oprah's schemes with land and fund are exposed, it's going to be a huge blow to her career and reputation. However, so far, as Joe Rogan expressed on his podcast show, the Hollywood minions are doing their best trying to cover all the traces of Oprah's sheer audacity. With all these wealthy real estate speculators, elites, and celebs throwing their hats into the ring, making tempting bids for the burned out land, it seems like Hawaii will turn into Hollywood's resort in a few years, and the locals will be pushed out of their native land.
How about give the people their homes back?
But the theories don't end here. Some theorists even suggest that these fires were intentionally set to pave the way for Oprah and her friends and turn Maui into the industry resort island. And here's
instead of Hollywood, instead of another Hollywood,
there's little to no help to the devastated victims of the fires, and people are forced to leave their land in search of food and water. As Tulsi said, people are loading up whatever they have in their general store on these little boats and running them over to West Maui to a private boat dock because that was the only place that they wouldn't be blocked from bringing food and water and medical supplies. But less as people like Joe Rogan, because they're not only trying to be vocal about the horrible plan of the elites to own Hawaii, but doing actual help to improve the position of the locals.
So he's not just
Oprah,
talking.
Who seems to use this tragedy
He's
to
putting
her
his
own
money where the
goals
mouth is. Where his mouth is.
How is that possible?
Or no?
These people could lose their home and then lose their land. Like, how is that possible?
It is the number one concern of people.
I mean, these Maui people have already lost their families, homes, and children, and the idea of profiting on this disaster is just the most atrocious act against all humanity. Many fans are saying that the time for these elites to step back and let the real heroes shine. As for Oprah, well, people have a lot to say about her. As one person commented, she needs deplatforming, demonetizing, canceling, and made to give that land back. And another user added, that response to Joe's criticism was so stereotypical, saying he's just distracting us from other problems. Nah, you and your wealthy friends are the problem. Well, it seems like Oprah's shady activities don't fool anyone, and people see right through her ugly nature. And what do you think about this guy's, is the iconic TV diva actually scamming Maui people, or is only trying to help? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check my other videos.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about everything? The power lines, the second fire that started after the power lines were de-energized, were supposedly de-energized, which I don't see why they wouldn't be de-energized after that. And about Oprah going on, like, what do you guys think? You know, is she a part of it? You know what I'm saying? I know I asked that before, like in the comment section, a lot of y'all were like, hey, yo, Oprah's been, you know what I'm saying? No, Oprah's been like cruel, not cruel, but not someone that you shouldn't trust. She's been corrupted. She's been like that. There's no doubt in some of y'all's minds, it seems, that she would definitely have a hand in starting, either having a hand in starting the fire or helping you to plan the fire and take everybody's land or something. So let me know again. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, especially about the power line issue. You know, yeah, man, this is something. I don't really like the feel of this. I don't like what energy is behind this. What I'm feeling is behind this. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like that. So, as always, links to everything will be in the description below, so be sure to check them out. And yeah, be sure to visit CELEB Live and go over there, check them out while you're there. But don't forget to do those 3 things that I like to ask you to do. And like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. And you know what it is after that, in case I don't see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace. And much love to you.